Good afternoon, friends. This is going to be our sixth video on project management in NGOs. In my previous video, I was discussing about project formulations using LFA method, and we have developed a project using LFA method. So through this video, we'll now go to the next phase of project management cycle. The next phase is project implementation. As we have already discussed, in a project management cycle, we are getting basically four phases. First phase was project planning and formulation. Second phase is project implementation. Third one is project monitoring, and fourth one is evaluation. So as far as project implementation is concerned, we need to be very clear because implementation needs a schedule, and that is what we call as implementation schedule. The implementation schedule is also in project proposal. So in that implementation schedule, we are clarifying three things. First thing is we have to list out the activities which are needed to achieve our objectives or goals. Second thing is we need to put right man at right place. That means who is responsible for which activity. And the third most important thing is each activity has to be completed within a stipulated period of time, because project by nature has to be completed within certain period of time. So when we are getting the three things, means list of activities, who is responsible, and that duration, means what is the starting date and what is the completion date. So this is what we mean by implementation schedule, and this thing is already in that project proposal. Now if you become the project manager, you need to know what are in our implementation schedule, and you need to ensure how far things are happening as per the schedule. Anyway, if we are getting some deviations, you can explain the reasons behind this deviation. So this is some ideas about our project implementation. Again, when we are formulating that project proposals, the vital part which we did not focus properly is budgeting, because project has got an important component, that is what we mean by budget. Budget is basically inclusive of two things, expenditure and the income. When we are making that activities, each activities has got its own financial implications. And when we speak about expenditure, we are basically speaking about three types of cost: program cost, then personnel cost, and administrative cost. Again, so after you make that financial requirements, or after you make that sort of financial estimate, you need to ensure how this much of money will be raised. So that is what we mean by income. So budget includes two things, expenditure and income. Expenditure has got three parts: program part or the program cost, second one is personnel cost, and third one is administrative cost. Again, when you speak about program cost, we are basically including all the activities. Training activities may be included, you may be including, for example, some sort of awareness based activities, you may be including some sort of workshop, some sort of a seminar, whatever, because these are directly contributing towards achievement of project goals. So these are what we mean by program based cost. Apart from this, there is another part what we mean by personnel cost, because project needs manpower. So we have to identify the personnel, the staff responsible for execution of that project. So they may be the coordinators or the managers, they may be the field staffs, they may be the accountants, and any other persons who is directly involved into that project. So they need to get their remuneration. So that cost will be coming under your personnel cost. And the third component is administrative cost, because project needs some sort of finance for its running. For example, you need phones, you need fuels, you need any sort of xerox. So these are all miscellaneous things which are needed to run a project. This is coming under administrative cost. So program cost plus personnel cost plus administrative cost. So this becomes our total project cost. Again comes a question. From this project cost, you need to also ensure how much money the organization can also contribute. That is what we mean by organizational contribution. For example, total project cost is coming to be, for example, say 5 lakhs. So here the organization should contribute 10% of that cost. That means 50,000 should come from the organization. So 5 lakhs minus 50,000, that is becoming 4,50,000. So this much of money will be asked to the funding agency to give you. So that is the most important part associated in that so-called budgeting. Again, when you speak about how this 50,000 will be mobilized, for example, that organization has got some infrastructure, so training programs can be conducted using those infrastructures. So in these ways you can show that you are contributing something. The idea behind this is funding agency expects the NGOs to contribute something from today itself, because after some days funding will not be coming. So if we do not have that sort of mechanism to create our own contribution, then after funding is over, we have to face many problems. So accordingly, it is some sort of instruction from the funding side to create our own contributions so that we get accustomed to this, and when the project is withdrawn, we are not getting many problems. So this is some sort of ideas behind project cost and its components. And as in the first part I have explained some things about implementation schedule. So in each video, if you get to learn how things are moving, you can learn. It is all about your desire, your interest to learn. So in the upcoming videos, we will go to the other parts coming under project management. So wishing you a good day and wishing you a bright future in NGO world. That's it for today.